everybody, welcome to Tammy Talks. So let's get into it. This is Queen Sugar, Season 6, Episode 1. Episode was entitled If You Could Enter Their Dreaming. So this episode, this season picks up kind of right where last season left off. So the end of last season, if you guys remember, Charlie caught COVID, and Jackson Davis nursed her back to health and kind of got her through it, and they started to kind of rekindle that old thing, and they got back together. Well, they were entertaining the notion of getting back together. Nova found out that Calvin, her boyfriend, the white cop, she found out that he took part in like some police brutality. Not took part, but I think he was like there as a witness. Or yeah, he did take part in it. And it was like covered up by the police department. So she was like hot about that. Micah was on his Boombaye, where he was a little baby activist, and he was going to all of these different protests, and he got real involved heavy in Black Lives Matter and in that movement. Ralph Angel and Darla made the decision to send Blue to a school for like the young and gifted kids out in, I think it's in DC, where Darla's mother lives. So Blue is now living with her mother while going to this young and gifted school. And I guess the plan is for him to, he probably comes home like as often as he can. Ralph Angel and Vi got into it because Aunt Vi feels that Ralph Angel is making the wrong decision by sending Blue away, and she feels that Blue is as much her child as his. And it was kind of like, not for real. So let's get into it. The episode starts off with Micah. We see he has cut off the Killmonger. He's back to like his low cut Caesar tapered haircut, and he's on Zoom. Side note, I appreciate the show for actually taking the time to create a Zoom that looks like a Zoom. So many times we see TV shows where they'll hold up what's supposed to be like a FaceTime video, and it's clear that they just put a video on. Like, they don't even take the time to like really do an actual FaceTime video. But so he's on FaceTime or on a Zoom, and he's talking about, he's in clearly it's like a class or something, and he gives back like a great response, to which the teacher is like super impressed, and she is asking him like, where is he? He says he's a sophomore at the school that he's attending. I don't remember the name of the school. And you can tell it's like something there. Now, at first we're thinking, oh, she's just really impressed. Micah's like, kicking ass in school, but we later find out what that look was then about. So Micah gets a phone call from Charlie. We find out that Charlie is in LA. As we know that she held like public office in St. Joe's Parish. So she's out in California meeting with some other like political leaders and different things of that realm. They have little banter back and forth with each other, and then we see Micah get a phone call from somebody that he like starts to blush from. We switch over to Aunt Vi. My notes say Aunt Vi is annoying. I don't like Vi, y'all. I have never liked Vi. She has this arrogance and sense of entitlement about her that I don't like, that I don't care for. I don't like the character. The woman playing her is an amazing actress, but Vi as a character is trash to me. I don't like her. So Vi is upset that she feels that she's being rushed to come see Blue. So as I said earlier, Blue is in DC, and I'm assuming that he came back for like a week or for a weekend. And because Aunt Vi got into it with Ralph Angel last season, she kind of felt like Ralph Angel should, get his ass off his shoulders and reach out to her. And Hollywood kind of told her, like, why can't you make the first move? You know what I mean? Like, because Vi is saying, well, family gets into it. It was just words, family fights. You get over it. And Hollywood is kind of like, why can't you do the same thing? So Vi is, or I guess someone ordered a slice of pie, and Vi is telling him, no, this pie is for Blue, as if Blue, who was what, 7 years old, needs a whole pie. But I don't know, Vi is just, she's bitchy to me. I don't know how else to say it, but she's bitchy to me. So then we see Hollywood is saying that there was a bag, an unmarked like paper bag sitting on the counter, and he's asking her what it's for. It looks like someone didn't pick up their food. So Vi is like super suspicious, and it's like, oh, someone just didn't pick up their food. Food won't go to waste. And she like grabs it from him and sets it underneath, and then like sends him to do something else really quick. So she makes a phone call and tells someone, I told you I got you. I got some food for you. Let's go. Now, off rip, everybody is like, she's creeping. I off rip was like, I bet you it's for Jimmy Dale, who is her ex husband that used to beat on her. I know that that would be too easy of a storyline, so I'm hoping it's not him, but I'm sure it's Jimmy Dale. So then we see that Charlie is out in LA, and we see her put on this outrageously big straw hat, and she's walking around, looking suspicious and stuff, just for her to go and meet up with Davis in the cabana. So it looks like her and Davis are back together. They get right to necking, as older people used to call it. They get right to kissing, and they have a conversation later about how if they're going to start to be serious about this, because they won't be able to hide it too much longer. Davis is a former, he's a retired professional basketball player. He's now a coach at a college, if I remember correctly. He's the coach at a college in, I think, Baton Rouge. And Charlie is in public office. And, I mean, they know her. And, well, on top of that, they know her as his ex-wife. So it's not like she's a random person, sneaking around with him. This is her getting back together with her ex-husband, who cheated on her numerous times, had a baby on her. So, and then come to find out she was his agent, and she was like paying off these women. So it was a big to do. It's a big deal for the two of them to be back together. But they make the decision together that if they're gonna, be serious about this, that they need to tell their family. And Jackson, I keep calling him Jackson, why? And Davis lets her know that he's super serious about it. He wants to get back with her, and he's ready to move forward with it. So they make the decision to tell her family, which to me is more or less to tell Micah that they're getting back together and they're gonna try to work some things out. So we switch over to Ralph Angel. Ralph Angel is at a payday loan place trying to get a loan. The man tells him this is his fourth loan, and I believe he said 6 months. And he's like, that means I have to run a background check. And if you ain't gonna pass the background check, I don't want to waste my time. And it's like, you're at work. Whether you run a background check or not, you still gonna be there till what, 8 p.m., right? People kill me with the whole I don't want to waste my time. This is your job. So Ralph Angel is telling this man, this is the last one. You can run the background check. The background check is fine. I'm not worried about that. Now, I was worried because, Ralph Angel is an ex-felon. So I was like, but I don't know. I don't know. Did he get expunged off his? I don't know. But Ralph Angel wasn't worried, and we see later that he did get the payday loan. But Ralph Angel is telling the man that I'm gonna get a big payday. I guess now his crops, he's gonna be able to, actually turn the soil, get his crops going, and do some stuff with his sugar cane. So he's not really worried about money. Next, we see that Nova is writing an article about police brutality, and she's working with the cop who was kind of giving her some dirt, right? Or eyewitness testimony. And the cop is kind of telling her, like, how can I trust you? You're dating a white police officer who has not taken a stance on anything, and who, has I don't want to say that Calvin is a dirty cop, but he has engaged in some dirty cop behavior when he first joined the force. And we find out that Nova is trying to defund the police. The whole term, the notion of defunding the police has always been, it's such a sensitive, subjective topic. There are people that believe that that means abolishing the police department altogether. There are people that think that that means allocating some of the money that police officers make and realigning it into other different type of community services and programs that can better serve and help the community as opposed to automatically going out and arresting and killing people. So that's what Nova is working on. We know Nova has always been someone who goes after like hard hitting stories. She goes after the truth. She's very Black Lives Matter before it became a thing. And by a thing, I mean before it became like this huge movement, this huge public movement. Nova's always been down. So I'm not surprised that she's like even involving herself in that situation. So you can tell that she's on edge about the entire thing because it's risky. You know, it's risky to go out and be out in the forefront and make a lot of noise while saying that, because if something does happen to you where you do need police help for, you know, they might hold a grudge against you. So Nova gets home and she's digging in her purse looking for her keys, and she notices that her door is slightly ajar. So like she's kind of freaking out. Now me, being the scary person that I am, I was kind of screaming, girl, don't go in there. Don't go in there. Like that's how I was, like I was nervous. But then she sees her keys on the table and she says that she was rushing that morning and just ran out the door. Absolutely not. How much of a rush do you have to be in to not only leave your keys on the table, but that means that you didn't lock your door, and then you left the door open? Get it together. Oh my God, get it together. So we see Vi bitching, as she usually does, on the phone with Micah about how he stood her up for breakfast. So she's listing all the stuff they had, and when they show Micah, I looked at the bed frame, the headboard, and I'm like, he's at a man's house. I mean, I'm sorry, he's at a woman's house. That's not a man's bed. So I thought it was maybe him being back with Kiki and not wanting anyone to know and make a big fuss about it. But then we see his teacher. So he lies to Vi and tells her that he's at the library, and she's like, yeah, okay, kids go to the library still. You're grown, you're a man, wrap it up. We don't need nothing extra. You know, don't lie to me. See you later at the vaccine drive. We see his teacher come out, and I am like, my God. I did cackle on Twitter because Ashley Miller said that was one of her fantasies, and I am dying. So, but it's not. Shout out to Ashley. She's been like super dope and super supportive about my channel. We've been cool for a while. I've been watching her for years. So go check her out. I think her channel is just Ashley Miller TV. But go check her out. But that is funny because that's so many people's fantasy. There's so many people that are always like, I would love to have like a fine ass teacher or to be sleeping with the teacher. And that's never been one of my fantasies, but I think that is hilarious. And I think it's because I have never had a good looking male teacher. I have never had a teacher that I'm like, damn, he is fine. I've never had one. I went to a black grade school, a black high school. I went to a PWI for college, but I have never had a teacher that has made me like look twice. So I can't help y'all there. So let me see. So then we find out that Ralph Angel is sitting in his car getting ready to go to the vaccine drive, and we find out that Ralph Angel is 60 days behind on his rent on the mortgage. This is my problem. So Ralph Angel took out that payday loan earlier in the episode and bought some like expensive ass crib that Darla saw and she wanted because we saw UPS deliver it. So he must have did Amazon because it came rather quickly. So after they get their Prime package, she's telling him we can't, we can't get this. This is too expensive, and he's like, "It's fine." Clearly, it's not fine, Ralph, because you're 60 days behind on your rent on your mortgage. And then he tells them, "I thought y'all was gonna work with me." Well, you have to be making some type of payment, sweetheart. You can't expect them, a creditor, to work with you if you're not making a payment back. On top of the fact that he answered the phone and was like, "I told y'all stop calling me. You owe your rent." No, 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 no. That's not how that works. You be an ass to the car extended car warranty people. You tell them stop calling you. You be an ass to hell, Spectrum. Spectrum blows my phone up every day. I do not have Spectrum. You be an ass to them. You be an ass to them people that swear they're calling from the IRS. You tell them to stop calling you. You can't tell your lender to stop calling you. That's not how that works. So, but I guess it just kind of shows how irresponsible Ralph Angel is, because you're taking out a payday loan to buy a crib, an expensive crib, probably because of the name, or, trying to appease Darla, who it seems like she's okay without having a lot of expensive stuff. Even though she grew up well off, she seems okay with the lifestyle that, Ralph Angel's able to provide for her and that they're building together. You should be taking on the payday loan to pay your damn rent, because they're telling him, if you slip another 30 days behind, we're going to foreclose. And he's telling them, "I told you, I'm a sugar cane." And it's like, they don't care about the sugar cane and this type of stuff, because everybody, Effie, we all got pain. And I hate to say that, because, COVID did set some people back, but it's also like you're making bad decisions. Now, Ralph Angel last season was working as a janitor, I thought. At, like, wasn't it like nursing home assisted living or something like that? So, like, what were you doing with your money that you didn't go out and, try to put that towards your rent, towards your mortgage? That's irresponsible, Ralph Angel. Irresponsible. So then we see Aunt Vi is with Hollywood, and they're getting packages together for the vaccine drive. And we see her once again with the big paper bag rolled up, and we see her grab this bag and say that she's going to go meet Nova. And Hollywood is like, "Why are you going over there? Like, Nova got it, she got it under control." But she's like, "No, I got to go check, make sure everything is going smoothly." And we see her grab this bag and leave. And then we see her running, looking stupid while she running and shit. Like, girl, just walk normally. I don't think people understand that when you do all that extra and you looking around and looking suspicious when trying not to be suspicious, it doesn't help you. So she goes to a hotel room, knocks a couple times, sets the bag on the door. Now, we never see, and then she leaves, like, scurries away. Again, it's Jimmy Dale, y'all. It's Jimmy Dale. I know we don't want it to be Jimmy Dale, but Nova is, Aunt Vi is taking food to Jimmy Dale, because she mentioned something to Hollywood later in the episode about how you can't defund the police, because what happens if a woman is getting beat and all this stuff? Who is she supposed to call? So it just, I don't like Aunt Vi. I don't like her. I think she's taking food to him, because I don't think there would be anyone else that she would be like sneaking and giving food to. No one else that I can think of, at least. So they're doing this vaccine drive, and they're noticing that it's way more cars there than it should be. So if you guys all recall, back when the vaccine first came out, there were different tiers and requirements that needed to be met in order for you to get it. My job had vaccines that they were giving out. You had to work at a location or be a primary family member. And even then, it was still like this age group first, then pre-existing conditions. All these, like, so there were tiers, there were levels to getting the vaccine initially. So they're noticing that a lot of the people that were, a lot of the extra cars that were there were white people that were coming from other parishes coming to St. Joe's, which is predominantly black. But there were other people coming in, skipping a line, not having a reservation, just kind of feeling like if y'all are doing the vaccine drive, I want to get it. So Nova goes up to a car. They have Confederate plates, so she's already kind of like, all right, let me try to, let me try to handle this. And she asks them if they have a reservation. It's a man, a woman, and I think a child in the back. And the woman is like, I'm a nurse. My husband and my son have pre-existing underlying conditions, so we are qualified for the vaccine. Nova asks her for her ID, because if they don't have a reservation, they're trying to go by people that have their reservations. And the lady is like, oh, I must have left it at work in my work locker. Who leaves their ID in their locker at work? Who leaves their ID at work? How you get in and out the hospital? So you can tell she's lying. So the white man gets mad and like drives off. We later see that they're talking, Nova and Vi, Hollywood, Micah. They're all talking about how they're going to do this so that so many people aren't feeling like they're getting skipped while still getting the reservations for the people that are in that parish. And I think what they were doing is right. Because if you live in this parish, you should be able, and you have a reservation, those are the people that should get the shot. This whole I was waiting in line, buh, that's buh. Whether you're in line or not, if you don't have a reservation, you can't expect to skip somebody that does. You can't expect to skip somebody that is truly eligible to live here. And I mean, that's how white people do. I hate to say it, but that's, it's like a sense of entitlement. So they make this decision where they're like, we're going to have to let everyone know what's going on and put it out there. And Nova gets on the megaphone and she goes up there and she tells them, if you don't live here in St. Joe's Parish, if you don't have proof of residency, we don't have enough vaccine to give out to everybody. We have a limited supply. We have to give this vaccine out to the people that, have the reservations. So while she's talking about that, we see that same man who she told earlier him and his wife couldn't have any. We see him steal a handful of it. And it's like, so you about to go home and y'all about to give each other the shot? People are dumb. So then there's a white lady who is like asking, I've been out here all day, what's going to happen? And then Nova tells the nurse, we cannot give them the shot because they do not have proof of residence. So then there's a black woman in the car, the second, and they know her. Everyone in the community knows her. And, I'm sorry, before that, Nova calls the police to ask for assistance because that man stole the vaccine. So keep that in mind. So then Nova is telling the black lady, I forgot her name, but she's saying, oh yeah, I know you live in this community. So she has the nurse come over and start to prep her to get the vaccine. The white lady in the car in front of her gets out on some rah-rah and was like, she's skipping. This is reverse racism because you guys aren't being fair. Womp, womp, womp. And it's like, no. That's not what happened at all. And Nova is trying to explain to that lady, this lady actually lives here. Where is your ID? Where's your proof of residence? And the white lady is like, you guys aren't being fair. You're not giving it to the white people. Like, she's like going in on it. And it's kind of like you're complaining about something that you kind of don't have a right to at this point. So the police come and He tells the black woman, well, you need to go home and get your ID and then you can get back in line. It's only fair that if she was here first and she's ahead of you in line, she gets it. And Nova's like, you know her. You know that this lady lives in the community. And the black lady is even telling the cop, like, you know me. And he's like, go get your ID, knowing that if she gets out of line, she's going to be pushed to the back of the line. So Aunt Vi is like, I'll take you to go get your license. Kind of telling her, leave your car here so you don't lose your spot in line. So while they're doing that, Nova is telling the cop, like, why are you doing this? You know that she's here. Like, I called you to keep the peace, not to get everybody all riled up. And he basically told Nova, you talk too much. You're talking about defunding the police. You're doing all this, you know, kind of like watch your back on some was good type stuff. So while that's happening, we see Envi taking that older woman to get her license, and they're talking back and forth in the car. We switch back to the vaccine drive, and we see Prosper explaining to another white lady why this black woman is like able to get her spot back in line. And the lady is like, I was already in line. I went to the bathroom and I'm coming back to get my spot back in line. I'm not skipping anybody. Like, I was literally here. And the white woman is like, no, you guys just don't want to give us any. And Prosper is like, where is your ID? I ain't never seen you around here. So it's becoming this like push and pull where these people are not even from St. Joe's Parish, but they're trying to come in and get the vaccine. So the cop walks over and tells Prosper he needs to lower his voice. And Prosper is like, why are you talking to me like that? I'm telling her that, you know, I'm asking her for her ID. You need to find out what the problem is before you come over here telling me to be quiet, because I'm not in the wrong here. So the cop, like, kind of puts his hands on Prosper. And I already knew, I'm like, some shit about to go down. This is about to be, it's not going to end the way that it should. Right, which would be the cop being like, okay, you know, everybody, let's stay level here. We're gonna try to get as many people vaccinated as possible. So it turns into a little tussle where eventually the cop fucking pushes Prosper down. Of course, Prosper falls back, hits his head on the ground, and now we see him bleeding out the head. Ridiculous. It's like, I'm not even gonna get into it in this video, but that's what happened with Prosper. So we see everybody, like all the main characters, jump up and run over because this is an old man. You don't pushed him down, and now the cop talking, oh, we need an ambulance. Hell yeah, we need an ambulance. I can't. All right, I'll see y'all next week. Subscribe, like, leave some comments below. Let me know what you thought about the episode. Check you later.